afternoon, everybody. So let us start with our schedule. So let's have a quick look about our schedule. According to schedule, we need to start object-oriented programming and this week, but in last week I was little bit behind. So let us start from our last class. Let us do a quick review about array searching and sorting. Actually, for array searching and sorting, you will review this in your lab class. These are your these were part of 1321 course on searching and sorting algorithm and array. We will go only up to two-dimensional array. Not more than 2 dimensions. We will not. So let us see how far I go tonight. And if I go to our first year experience resource page, on our resource page we have review 1, review. In our last class we discussed review 1. We discussed common data type. We discussed about how to declare a variable and how to do input for C# and Java. So these are the common things and very like introductory programming concepts. So, but if you are not still familiar with this, okay, please see me during my office hour. I will give you some extra tips or to cover this. So but I think everybody should be familiar with this. Please review looping and control statements, looping selection statements. I covered almost all of this in our last class, and there was another lecture 2 review slide. Okay. There was discussion about review of classes and arrays. Let me quick look what do we have here. So we will mainly in tonight's class we will discuss about arrays, but since we are discussing object-oriented programming, Java, C#, Python, C++, not C++, actually C++ is both object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming. So Java and C# are object-oriented programming language. So everything, actually almost everything comes with object. So our program in Java and C# start with a class. So here is a class. So you should be familiar with a class at the very beginning. Okay, a class is kind of data type. For instance, an integer type, a float type, or double type is a data type. String is a type. Okay, like a class is a type. Declare a class type in order to define a collection of similar objects. Secondly, comes the word object. What is an object? An object is an entity, real life, that may be touchable or not touchable, may be visible or not visible. Okay, we know that real life objects, chair, table, computers, laptops, pencil, these are objects. Okay, there are some objects that might not be visible but may be powerful. For instance, Wi-Fi connection, internet connection, then our Wi-Fi signal, internet signal, mobile signal, okay. Electricity. Yeah, these are not visible but powerful, right? And useful. Mainly, we declare a class, in order to declare or create object of that kind. A class is a kind or type. So we declare a class here. A class is called this name is trophy, this class name, and it is type is accessibility mode is public, and a class contains some variables and at least one method, or we can say some methods, in order to access those variables. So here this class, trophy class, contains one name variable that is private type and that is string type. Accessibility mode is private, and another points variable that is integer type, that is also private accessibility mode. If a variable's accessibility mode is private, then it is accessible only by its method, okay, within the class. But if a variables, a class variables are otherwise called field, if these are public, then it are accessible from anywhere, from program or program, even from another project. Their project implements or this class is this project. So okay, so a class contains some variables and some method. Here the trophy method. Here, okay, those methods are used to access those variables. Okay, a class contains methods. If a method, sometimes we may hear that constructor. A constructor is a method that has exactly same name of its class name. If we find a method that has exactly same name of its class name, here my class name is trophy, and then here my method name is trophy. How do I know that this is a method? After something, whenever we see a parenthesis, a parenthesis, then we know that this is a method. If a method has exactly same name of its class, then this is called a constructor. A constructor cannot have a return type or a return statement. Okay, a constructor can be private, but most likely you will see that it is public. Okay, a constructor is not called explicitly, but it is called implicitly while creating an object. That there is another method. This is also another constructor. A class can contain multiple constructors. That means a class can contain multiple methods. Those multiple methods must be different in terms of their argument, number of argument, and argument type. Argument type, numbers. So here at the first trophy, this constructor does not have any argument, but this one has two arguments. So this is why it is possible to have two different constructors in the class. Okay. So this method is this process of having multiple methods, same name, but different parameter type or number of parameters. These are called method overloading or constructor overloading here, because the method is a constructor over here. This concept is called constructor overloading, method overloading. Okay, so we will discuss method overloading later over here. Okay. In C++, the string has either an uppercase or a lowercase. Java always use uppercase string for is. Okay, and a string, we will discuss that later. A string is immutable because a string class does not have a setter method. It has get method, that means called getter method, but a string class does not have any setter method, so you cannot, once you define a variable, you cannot change it. That's why string is called a immutable. There is an interview question sometime. Why a string is called immutable? Because there is no getter method in the string. Okay, getter and setter method, actually these are the methods to access private variables of a class, private member field of a class. In order to access private, since I told you that private methods cannot be accessed outside this class, so how this can be accessed? By using its own getter and setter method in general. Okay. So object-oriented programming has a few 4 or 5 pillars or foundation or basic principles. One of the first of all is called data hiding. Data hiding is the concept of making private to a class. Okay, so that the outside class cannot access those private members. So then how do we access those private members? Just by using its own getter and setter method. Okay, data hiding is one of the basic principles of object-oriented programming. There are other principles, for instance, polymorphism, inheritance. We will discuss this later. So the concept of getter and setter in C#, just for getter, we is very shortcut. We use get method, but in C plus or Java and other languages, we use getter and setter. So when you go in programming, you will see that we will use a lot. There is another important method. It is called toString method. This toString method is used to display the content of according to our need. Okay, in a specific format. Okay. What's next? So sometime in order to display our objects in our according to our need, we need to override the toString method. So then call the term override. What is override? Override is the process that if a class contains a method, exactly same name, same return time, or same signature of its parent class, then in child class, okay, it is redefined according to our need. That's called overriding. So we will discuss overriding or overloading later in detail. But for now, so please be familiar with toString method. If you do a Google search or some of the slides, you will see toString method. Okay. For now, even if you do not understand override concept, just for now, please remember this override method that we need to rewrite. Maybe after 2 or 3 weeks, you will understand overriding in detail. These are the concepts, actually, object-oriented programming foundational concept you need to be familiar with. Since we are discussing Java or C# in object-oriented format, so we should be familiar with initial concept of object-oriented programming. That was why I just discussed. Okay. And our next topic is we need to review array. An array is a collection or a group of similar objects. similar variable. Okay. Usually those elements of an array stay together in a memory location. Okay. Symbol, opening and closing bracket, these are the symbols of an array. So sometimes you will not see something within this very close, or you can keep space. Sometimes you will see the number within. This is whenever you see an angle bracket, then you remember that this is an array. So here, this array, trophy array, so TROPH, this is their name and this is their type. And it says 5, it's a 5, that means this array can contain 5 elements. And they stay together, one after another. Okay, so then if I say 10 over here, then this topic contains 10 elements. Array elements start with index 0. Always array elements start with index 0. So 10 elements, if I have 10 elements in an array, contain the elements from 0 to 9. 10 is the 9th with index 9. 0 index is the first element. These are the two lines to declare an array. But these two lines can be written in shortcut like this. Okay, since in Java, this is an object-oriented programming language and this is not a built-in type, so we need to use new operator. New is the operator that creates an object and assign values to that object. Actually, the new operator creates a memory location. It's an object and assign a memory location to an object. So here my trophy a type, here my data underscore storage is my array name, and it is kind of, this is data type trophy. By looking this angle bracket, we will know that this is an array. And if I see a parenthesis, parenthesis, then this is a method. Remember this way, that this is a method because it has a parenthesis, and this is also a method. It has parenthesis, a pair of parentheses. But this is an array. To traverse an array, there are 3 or 4 ways in C++, C# and Java to traverse the array elements. Actually, the array elements are traversed with its index starting from 0. For each element in an array, this is pseudocode. Something you can print something, you can do a mathematical operation or statistical or arithmetic operation on the elements. So in order to traverse an array element, so this we can use if it is your array elements is an object. Then we can use for or for each loop. For is the traditional looping control statement, but in C# and Java and modern programming languages have for each together. There is no space between, and for each works only for object type. It does not work for any traditional data type like integer boolean. Okay. Remember the difference between for and each. Here, I is an integer type variable. This is called index variable. I start from 0 and I less than the storage dot length method. In C sharp, there is a length method. L start with in uppercase. It will give you the length of this storage. This is the array. Wherever it was declared, it was declared maybe here. Wherever it was declared, this method gets the length. So less than, if my length is 10, then it will start from 0 to I less than 10, maximum 0 to 9. Every time it is increasing, I is increasing by 1, 1. Anyone here knows the difference between I plus plus and plus plus I? Yes. If I say I plus plus or if I say plus plus I, what are the difference between these two? Yes, correct. So there is a very tiny difference between plus plus I plus plus I versus I plus. Okay, so there is a very tiny difference between plus plus I versus plus. This is called the prefix notation and this is called the postfix notation. So what is your name, please? What is your name? Max. So do you think that will be any difference if here plus I or I plus plus? Yes. In this case, or during this for loop, there will be no difference. It will be same. Okay. But if we run our program, an individual small program to print this or that in a small program, then you will see the difference. This is called the prefix notation and this is called the postfix notation. For prefix notation, it will first increment. Plus plus is incremental operator. Is between plus and plus. It will first increment value of I. Okay, then the postfix operation, this is the postfix notation I plus plus. That is what it does, it first uses the old value and then it increases I that will be applicable for next term or next rotation, next statement. I usually give an example for the difference between plus plus and plus plus and I plus I. Like like politician in many politician in some corrupted countries under countries. So when they make a new rule and if the rule has some benefits for them, they make that incremental, like this one, prefix notation. They apply their advantages to them first. Okay, and if they make a rule that is not beneficial for them, for instance, the people who do corruption, then they do like this way, I plus plus. That means they make a rule that will be applicable to people next to them, so that they do not get caught. Something, okay. So whatever we remember here, for is applicable only for, it is not applicable for any normal data type. Okay. Same thing in Java, there is for and for loop. And in Java, there is, sorry, the tiny difference between C sharp and Java. This is, see that C, you say that property in, the word in over here, and sometimes in Java, you use this colon sign, that is in. Very tiny difference. That means this loop will continue. Okay, the for can be used like this way. For each. Oh, okay. 24 to for each. Okay, remember that in Java we use length method. L is in lowercase, but C sharp we use length method. L is in uppercase. C sharp, most of the methods start with an uppercase. But in C sharp, in Java, all lowercase. So in order to do some searching or sorting operation, we do operation with for loop lot. So maybe in lab one, first lab, you will get something to do searching or sorting or like this kind of program. Okay. The main thing is that you need to use for loop, a control statement. For instance, this is a method. I will let me like okay. One thing I like everybody to remember my another thing, my GitHub account. Is anybody here is familiar with GitHub? Okay. Good. GitHub an online repository. For instance, like we use Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox. Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, those are used to store files, normal regular files or data files or images or picture or videos. Yeah. In a cloud location. And similarly, GitHub, GitLab, there Microsoft, there are other online repositories. These are mainly used to save our programs or project. Okay. Working in a company or in a team, you must use these. These are called otherwise called source control system. Sorry. GitHub is a popular source control system. About a year ago, Microsoft brought this tool, okay, from its company, original company, and GitHub usually. So you can create an account on GitHub for free. Just go to github.com and create an account. So for instance, you use your email address to create your. You can log in with your username or your email address. This is my username. So CSITEd experts. If I log into my system, that I have about 95 repositories. That means I have about 95 projects in my GitHub account. So previously GitHub allowed us to store only public repository for free. If your repository is public, then anybody can see it, anybody can clone it, anybody can get it. Since a year ago, when Microsoft bought it, so Microsoft now allows us to make a private project that can be shared at least with maximum 3 people, 3 collaborators. So you say that I have some project, these are private, these are private. You see, these are private. So for this private project, you will not be able to see my project. For instance, if you open github.com, if you go to github.com, you will find this initial space and just sign up. Give selected username and give your email address and password, and then click sign up for GitHub. It is very easy. GitHub account. Then when you choose your email, then it will send you a verification email. Just click on the link, verify your account, activate. Okay. So then once you sign up it for first time or one time, then you need to sign in next time. Okay. So then if you go to github.com and type in /CSITED this is my GitHub account. So then you will see about 50 projects are there. But if I log into my system, if I see that 95 are private. Okay, so here on this repository, you will see that I have CSE1322 section 02 spring 2019. Also there is another section CSE1322 section 03 spring 2019. So follow either these or these. For instance, if you follow this, okay, and if you see that SRC folder. So on this SRC folder, you see that all of there are programs. I discussed all of these programs in our last semester, and in your semester we will also review almost all of this. Okay. So if you want to go ahead with me, so then what you will do, just you can clone this project, or you can download this project. So how to clone a project on GitHub? This is very simple. It will take at about, if you spend only 2 hours. If you spend at least 2 hours, then even if you have the GitHub terms just today, you will be familiar with this. Okay, so what we'll do, I want to give you a reference of my videos. If you watch these videos just for one time, I think you will be familiar with GitHub. So if you go to youtube.com and search for my CSITED experts, and this is my channel, and if you click channel, then welcome to the CSITEd experts online forum. Okay, so if you go to the playlist, you will see that I have a playlist I have a bunch of playlists. One of them is Git and GitHub related videos. Okay, so maybe there are 111 videos here. If you watch these 11 videos, like maximum an hour or 2 hours, then you will know how to install GitHub. Actually, you have to install Git. To use Git efficiently, you need to install Git on your computer. Git of tool does not come in Windows or Mac OS, iOS. You have to install it. Then you will be able to install Git, and you will be able to create a GitHub repository. You will be able to clone a GitHub project. You will be able to do the basic operations with GitHub. If you so if you are familiar with GitHub and use GitHub, your life will be easier. But that no company will allow you to use individually. You have to work in a group. Every company you have to work in a group. In your group, nobody will allow you to share your source code or program code using a flash drive or a CD or with any other medium. Okay, so what they use secure source control system. Like for instance, they use GitHub. See that if you see this is the GitHub, it says 17 commits. So it saves the commit or when or who did these changes. Did this change in the computer? It keeps the log, so that when you work in a team, if you work, they can see, manager and team member can see whatever you did, or you did any mistake, they can see, or whatever your contribution, they can see. Okay, and so if you do any mistake, it is possible to go to any previous state without losing data. Okay, you need to be familiar with GitHub, and then if you become familiar, start using GitHub right now, even within the next 3 or 4 years, you will be master in GitHub. When you go to well, it will be good to start working. Okay, so then if you watch this video by this week, please, and be familiar with Git and Git. Okay, so what I was telling that in this section, you follow either this section or this section. So you will see that there is a program. So you click on SRC, and there is a program. It's called array. So it is a two-dimensional array we discuss in this program. Okay, so let us for now quickly let me copy this program and open it in repl.it. How many of you have account on repl.it? How many of you have created? I want to see everyone's hand. Okay. Who has created an account with repl.it yet? Please. I'm giving you tonight, only tonight. Right after this class, okay, I'll give you it will take 2 more minutes, not more. Create an account, okay, on REPL. Please create an account, go to repl.it, not right now, after the class, then create an account, okay, and do some practice before you come in our next. Once you create your account here, it's free, okay, then it will send you an email. You will need an email address, and it will send you an email. Verify that email. Let us create a new REPL. Using of repl.it is advantages that I can select any language. There are a bunch of languages I can select. Okay, so let us do quickly Java. If I select a Java, okay. Array search, for instance, 1, 13, 20. Java. Just create that. It will create a template of a program. Just let us. Actually, I have main over here. I need only this code. These lines of code I need. Okay. Okay, so I got my code over here. Now, if I run it, let us see this program. What does this program do? Okay, maybe I got an extra. Okay, an extra closing back. Okay, so this program, it does what it does. Okay, so I have a count variable with 0 and boolean flag as false. I have an array. It is a two-dimensional array. What it is doing, I am assigning values to two-dimensional. This is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row of it array, like a matrix. Then my array name is here grid. What I'm doing, I am looping through this array list, and I'm checking whether I have the number 3 available in this list or not. And if it is available, it will also tell me how many times it is available. Okay, this program is a searching algorithm. It has binary search algorithm applied. So if I run over here, it says my number 3 is found one time. My number 3 is found. Here you see the 3 is time answer. Let's check with another number, for instance 7. If I check with 7 and if I rerun it, how many times it should get? So if I check for something is not available here, for instance -7 is not available here. If I run this, then my negative is not found. This is a short program, but it has application of array, looping through the elements of an array, and searching. So please practice this, and similarly you can get all of my programs code for the last semester I discussed in this. And similarly, I will be using almost all of these in this semester. Okay, so if my courses are free available, I like everybody come up ahead of time and do some practice. And people who are taking C# class, so I have another project. I have, see here, if you search for, click on repositories and search for C# CS or something. With C#. Okay, search with C#. So this is the C# project. All programs are these are almost all programs are written in C#. The previous projects are written in C#. For C# people, please get this. Okay. How to get this repository? Just watch those videos. GitHub. Then you will learn. Okay, how many minutes we do have? So let us. So these are what actually I discussed. Actually, searching and sorting algorithms. So common searching, there are searching algorithm, linear search, binary search, bubbles, linear search and binary search. Okay, and there are three. These are the common sorting algorithm: sort, insertion sort, and selection sort. You need to cover, because in your test, in your first test, you will get a question about searching, another question about sorting. So you will get two questions from here, from this slide. Okay. So I like everybody to review this. Linear search algorithm, all of the elements are searched by one by one, that I have done in this simple program. This simple program that I discussed, this program has linear search algorithm starting from 1 to the less than elements, 1 to the index less than 0. Okay, there is another kind of searching. Linear search algorithm is easy, simple, and there is another kind of algorithm. It is called binary search. In binary search is applicable only for a sorted array. If you give it as a sort, either in ascending or descending order, then a binary search algorithm is applicable or suitable. Otherwise, it is not suitable, not convenient. Since every time in binary search algorithm, it makes the array size half, this is why times needed for the looping, number of looping is big or log n. Log is base 2n. That means it makes two half the array size. Okay, so since log 32 with base 2 is 5, we know that. So if you have a number, maximum 32 number, 31 or 32 numbers in array, in order to sort that, in order to search that, you need maximum 5 looping. But in binary, in linear search, you need 32 looping. Sometimes if it is array, if your array is already sorted, then the binary search algorithm is suitable. Here is the algorithm for a binary search. What it does, it always takes the highest index. It always get lower index, highest index, and it gets initially its middle index, and then every time until you get out our element, it makes the index half, the middle. It brings the index in half, in middle. Do some practice about binary search and searching and sorting algorithm. If you do not understand this, if you do not recall this should be part of your 1321. But if you do not recall this, if you need help, then please see me during my office hour. Otherwise, we are assumed that we assume that you should be able to do this. And sorting algorithms are difficult. Searching algorithms are quite easy, but sorting algorithms are sometimes sorting algorithms takes a lot of time. Sort algorithm is called similar to exchange algorithm. Okay. There is a video over here. Look at the YouTube video in order to understand this. Maybe again, if you do not understand this, then in me in my next class, then we will discuss. Otherwise, let me think that you already know this. And in your test, you will get a question for searching and you will get another question for sorting. Most likely, for instance, you will be given a set of data. For instance, like this, you will be given a set of data, and then you will be asked to write the passes. This is the first comparison. What is the sequence of the first comparison? Output of the first comparison. You have to write. pass you have to write this, and another pass you have to write this, and if another pass you have to write this, another pass you have to write this, another write this, you have to finally done. Most likely in your test, it will be given a set of data and you will have to write result of your output after each sequence sorting algorithm. We discussed this in our 1321 class in detail. So if you need help, then go back, or there are a lot of videos available. If you do something, then you will be able to understand searching and sorting algorithm. You see, there are many slides, about 48 slides. Ultimately, for your test, you need to know this. And the 2D array, a 2D array is a kind of matrix. Tabular format, data are presented in tabular format. Table, we know that there are rows and columns, right? So these are the rows. This is the first rows. This is the in array, a rows index start with 0. So this row is considered as first row. This is the first row. This is the second row with index 1. Third row has index 2. Fourth row has index 3, and so on. This is the first column. First column has index 0. Second column has index 1. Third column has index 2. And fifth column has index 4, and so on. So all of these are individually called cell. So this cell has coordinate 0, 0. First coordinate is for row and second coordinate is for, okay. So for instance, if I do not have this ellipse, if I do not have these ellipses, if I do not have this dot dot, that means this is, if this is my two-dimensional array, then it has 6 rows and 6 columns. Sorry, 7 rows and 7 columns. That means 0 to 6, 7 rows and 0 to 6, 7 columns. Then it has 7 times 7 is 49 total elements. So a two-dimensional array, in order to access elements of a two-dimensional array, we need two loops. One is inner loop and another is outer loop. You need to be good in looping control if you want to be a game developer. In order to develop a game, for instance, or like develop a chess type game, I think we need to find the object or objects location that are measured where it. Need to be familiar with this. So can anyone please tell me what does this mean? This is a pseudocode format, create array grid 4 by 4. This means it is a two-dimensional array. My array name will be grid.